if our goal is to get people to do X, Y, and Z, and that goes back to your brief, right? That's like, and I love the get to buy, um, because get who to buy, which I think is even better. Because I think now you're looking at very
Can you,
clearly,
you know what? Can you break that down real quickly? There's going to be a number of people who are like, what does she mean by
yeah,
that?
yeah, this is not
That's
my
a that's a
idea.
that's a lovely shorthand. I've got
Yeah,
convinced that because is my
yeah,
shorthand.
yeah, yeah. So this
Tell
is
me
not
yours.
my proprietary data or thing, but there's a get who to buy format for creative briefs that for me, I have found to be the most effective. You're going to get whoever the target audience is, right? That's like 40-year-old white women who live in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Right?
Um, the who to me is the clincher. And I think a lot of agencies and strategists don't take advantage of what that is, which is now we're getting into what makes them tick. What's the problem? Who don't have enough time in a day to take care of their kids and get their work done. That's the who. Two, now we're entering into what's the state we want them to get to. And then buy is how we solve the problem using your product or your service.
What's the
So,
transaction that's going to occur? Um,
exactly.
yeah, I learned it as convince that because
Hmm.
convince someone, some group, some whatever, that something, typically something that we hold tangible in our back pocket within the brand, but the because line is the magic line, and the way that I worked it from a creative aspect was you would just vomit on that sentence and come up with something and then start to, as you were saying, sort of bulletproofing it because our product is the best. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? One, we can't say best, and two, that doesn't mean anything. So what do
Yeah.
you actually mean? And what is it they're actually going to do? So
Right.
yeah, that's great. And so that creative brief, and writing a few of those in my lifetime of coming back to a single page, not a tome. And frankly, can I get it down to a single sentence with
Yeah.
some maybe arbitrary, not arbitrary, some validated kinds of thoughts that go along with it so that the other creatives, the other account executives, everybody on the team, and ultimately to the client, do we all accept this as our new gospel truth? And
Right.
if our premise, because oftentimes I didn't have great data, I had hypothetical data. And so in that case, I was looking for a little bit of CYA that if we all said this is a great idea and we launched this and it didn't get the results we thought we were going to get, obviously that an opening line needs to be rephrased. We
Yeah.
assumed something and it wasn't, if you said in your 40-year-old housewives, maybe with, and we forgot to add, and the two kids. And what did that mean to her
Right.
existence? If there's a difference between 40-year-old spouse and 40-year-old housewife with younger kids versus older kids, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's been a godsend for me. I use that all the time.
And I think with that format, you're able to either bake the research and the data into it, and whether it's an addendum or it's part of the brief, that's up to whatever your work style is. If the creative director, I've had creative directors who are like, give me all the research. I love it. I've had creative directors that are like, I don't care about any of that. I want the one thing, and that's it. Um, but from that brief, you get that one idea, one thing, one truth. And that's where it's like the data at that point is important, but it's not what you hang your hat on because data is just data at the end of the day. If you can't tie it in a bow and make something insightful out of it. So that's where that insight lives. And I think if you can, again, align everybody, get everybody on the same page to agree that this is the insight that we're going to build the campaign around, that's your bulletproof because now we've all agreed. And everything from that point forward, if it doesn't live up to it, is not right. Doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it
Mhm.
failed because it wasn't creatively sound. It just means that it's not on par with what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
That's just a fun idea.
Hey,